girl Bella. Oh, please. Hello, babes. Welcome in. It's Thursday. And you know what we do on Thursdays, honey? On Thursdays, we have an after dark session. And have I got a session for you this evening? So we're going to begin in a moment. You know, I like to welcome people in as they come in. And I'm going to start off with a little music just to get us level setted and ready for anything that may happen. You know, we don't call this the Bella Coaster for nothing. So let's start with a little Hold Please remixed. Oops, sorry about that. Here we go. Nope, I'm sorry. Hang on just 1 second. For some reason, it is not playing anymore. So let's go to the next one, shall we? Let's see. Let's try this one, see if it works. Okay. That may work. Hey, y'all. Welcome in. Party Miles Vlog, welcome. Mitchie, Tigerfield TV, hello, Mitchie. Of course, my TT's in the house. Hello, TT. Everybody say hello to my TT. That's my Auntie Wendy. Everybody say hello. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. Please thumbs up the live as you come in. We're just getting settled into our mode this evening so we Yes. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Don't forget to thumbs up this live, and if you can, share us out. Okay. Yes. Oh, sorry to hear that, TT. Hope everything was okay. Yes, this will be on the podcast after the conclusion of this live. It'll go up. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Here's a little frizzy today, but we're gonna make it work. Oh, Dream is doing her thing. Good, good, good. Trying to burn off that excess energy, so she's running back and forth. I love it. All right, everyone, welcome in. Welcome in. I, of course, am your hostess with the mostest, Miss Brown Girl Bella. Tonight, we are doing our Bella After Dark series. And if you're not familiar with the After Dark series, this is when we don't talk about makeup. As a matter of fact, we don't talk about anything having to do with beauty. We talk grown folks stuff. We talk about relationships. We talk about sex. We talk about everything that us grown folks like to talk about. Okay. So if you are willing and able and can, please share this out with your friends and foes and everyone you know, because Brown Girl Bella is in the house tonight. All right. Okay. So I know the topic is a little scintillating. It's a little, taboo, but we're going to break it down and we're going to do like a one-on-one, 101, excuse me, kind of what this is, what it's not. And if you want to partake, here are the steps that you should take in order to make this a practice maybe in your own life. So without further delay, let's jump in and get started. I'm going to start with what it is, right? I'm going to go with starting with the definition of BDSM and what it is. So BDSM stands for bondage, discipline, or domination, sadism, and masochism, and it is a type of sexual practice. BDSM is a variety of often erotic practices or role playing that involves bondage, discipline, dominance, and submission or sadomasochism and other related interpersonal dynamics. I know, a lot, right? So, if you're curious, and we know some of you are because you haven't said hello, but I see the chat, and there's about 7 people in the building. So And the numbers will go up and down because I do have my lives turned on so that intermittently they will start dropping ads while the live stream is going on, because I'm still beta testing that for Google. Sorry guys, but this is one that really I need to have the ads on for. It's not actually, it's not dangerous. It's not dangerous, CT. Let me explain. So here it is. So um take this opportunity rather to lean in, to get in, to learn. No doubt you've seen S&M and kink depicted in movies like 50 Shades of Grey and the book, shows like Bonding or even Euphoria. And you might have been wondering, like, what is the true meaning behind all of the sensationalism that you might see in the media as well as depicted in TV shows, movies, and books? So before you start downloading a BDSM dating app or just diving into bondage sex, it's important that with all sexual practices to get a practical primer on what the basics are and sort of what the ground rules are for BDSM sex, right? Um, it's a good idea to kind of, get a sense of what bondage is, what discipline is, what domination is, submission, sadism, and masochism. So you know what to do and how to do it safely before jumping right into kinky sex, because there is a learning curve here. So in order to kind of make everyone enjoying themselves and relaxed, and also taking the necessary precautions when it comes to this type of sexual act, it will be important for you to have ongoing discussions and relationship talk with your partner, and also to have consent and what the boundaries are, right? And always remember, is it safe? Is it sane? And is it consensual, right? You want to know what you're getting yourself into when you're doing this. So I suggest you read up on bondage stories from real people who are doing this in real life. I apologize. I was supposed to have someone on the show to talk about this, but her schedule is so hectic and I kept pushing this back and pushing this back and pushing this back. And I just said, you know what? Let me jump into it, explain the 101s, give you a little bit of my research on this topic for this show, as well as, for the show that we're going to do when my guest is able to come on, and kind of get you the layman's terms of what is going on and how it's going on and what we need to do and, what we shouldn't be doing. All right. Hey, Just Andrea, welcome in. Yes, spicy, spicy tonight. Welcome in, welcome in. All right. So, first of all, what is BDSM? I told you what the acronym stands for, but it is an umbrella term that refers to a whole spectrum of sexual behaviors and preferences. Again, the acronym stands for bondage, discipline, domination, and submission, sadism, and masochism. Okay. So, although some people think BDSM is kind of kinky, in some cases, it doesn't have to involve sex at all. And the mental connotations of some sex acts are more of a turn on than the prelude of a particular act that's leading to sex. So many people who practice this are performing this in a neutral, mutually consenting relationship, right? This is not like you're going out and you're finding somebody and you're doing all of this BDSM, tying people up and disciplining them and all of that. This is something that is based out of a consenting relationship with your partner. All right. The emphasis on this is informed consent. Okay. That is of paramount importance when carrying out a BDSM act because it also involves varying degrees of pain, physical restraint, and servitude. Right. So before you start tying your partner up and spanking them or putting a collar around their neck and making them crawl around on all fours, you need to have consent and you need to understand what the boundaries are in order to begin this BDSM act. All right. And, while these are just a small example of these activities and they might seem a little kinky to you, remember that, if this kind of thing does not float your boat and this is not something you want, then be open to your partner and tell them that and let them know. Okay. But there is a whole world of fetish and kink beyond the powers and dynamics of BDSM, and that the kink does not stop with a particular area. So if chains and whips don't excite you, but certain smells, maybe outfits or scenarios do, then again, that's totally up to you. There's no wrong way or correct way to be kinky. It's whatever really floats your boat. All right, I'm going to stop there and see if there's any questions in here. I don't want to. That's okay. That's okay. Hey, Soror, I'm here listening. Sorry for not chatting. I'm so exhausted and you look amazing. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, let's dive further. So, again, if you are keen to try it and you want to, figure out, how to do it or what to do, one of the first things, as I said before, is informed consent, right? And that's known as SSC, safe, sane, and consensual, right? Or RAC, which is risk aware, consensual kink. It's common practice for people who indulge in these to introduce a safe word into the mix. And the safe word is spoken when the act that you are performing is something that your partner is adverse to. And when that safe word is spoken, the act that is being done immediately stops. Okay. It could be a word with no relation to sex at all, or it can be something related to sex. So, somebody can say banana. And when you say banana, it's important that you both agree that hearing or speaking your chosen safe word signifies that all activity has to stop until the situation is resolved, right? So that is kind of the ground rules. Going a little bit further, some people like to use the traffic light system, and that's very easy to use. It's a popular safe word system. Each color kind of communicates how you're feeling and what you want in the current context of the situation. So, for instance, if you say green, that means go for it. Use green if you like what your partner is doing, you feel totally comfortable, and you want them to continue. If you say the word yellow or amber, that means to slow down. Maybe you like what they were doing, but it came a little too much. It became, a little too much for you. Yellow is basically saying just slow down or reel it in just a little bit. It also may mean that you're reaching your limit or about to reach your limit and you're bordering on physical discomfort. And like the traffic signal, red means stop. Saying this tells your partner you want them to stop everything that they're doing immediately, and it should be used when you're not comfortable, if things are getting too much, or you no longer consent. Okay. If your partner says to you, stop, you should always greet a no or a stop with gratitude and acceptance, right? Don't shame the person because they're saying no or stop because they have reached their physical or mental stimulation limit, right? Saying no can be very hard and maybe frustrating on the receiving end of that. And, again, what's important here is honest and open communication so that in the future, if you want to pursue this again, it gives you the reinforcement and the acceptance that when your partner hears that, they know that their limits and their boundaries are being upheld, and it encourages them to continue to be communicating freely and open with you. It also protects them from feeling violated and also to limit the risk of you unintentionally violating them. Okay. Their ability to say no is a beautiful gift, but it is not a limitation. That is very, very important to note. And at this point, I'm going to throw up my banner just to make sure that this topic and these conversations, as always, are for those who are over the age of consent. And this is for educational purposes only. And this is only meant to give you a context of what this is. I invite you all, if you are interested, do your own research, deep dive into the subject, and find out if this is something that you want to pursue. And again, talk it over with your partner before anything is initiated. That is very, very important for those to know. All right. I see we have some new babes in the building. We have 6 new babes in the building. Hey, Edna's World, welcome in. Mitchie's still listening. Oh, you're working. Okay, well, keep the volume down because we're talking spicy, Mitchie. We're talking spicy. Don't want to get you called into HR. All right, let's dive further. All right, hang on a second. Hold, please. Just taking a sip of water. All right. I am going to stress throughout this talk about the importance of thoroughly educating yourself about consent and negotiations to make sure that your partners are sufficiently informed, as well as you are sufficiently informed before engaging in any intimate activity involving a power exchange, because that's essentially what this is. Domination and submission is giving someone else or you the power and someone else the submission. So it is a power switch. Not all men are doms or dominant. Not all females are submissive or subs. They can be either sex, right? Or if you're in a same sex relationship, it can be you one time or it can be your partner the other time. And that's kind of known as a switch. Some people like to have a strictly dominant subordinate relationship where one person is always going to be the dominant and one person is always going to be the subordinate. Or you can have what's called a switch when the person interacts with different role plays. One minute they can be the dominant, the next time around, maybe they will be the submissive. So it can go either way. But again, making sure that your partners are sufficiently informed before engaging in any intimate activity. And each partnership and context is different. The methods used to negotiate and navigate a session consensually should always be adapted to their unique needs and dynamics, right? Because everyone's needs is different, and getting general consent for negotiating boundaries and consent is different for every person, right? You need to first seek to understand and then be understood. You ask questions and then you generally listen for the answers from your partner. Okay. Seek to understand their genuine motivations and boundaries, right? But don't rely only on implied consent, right? Because if you rely on implied consent, there's room for misinterpretation, right? You can't count on someone to be able to read your mind and assume that you can correctly read theirs, right? Cultivating a mutual self awareness is as good communication skills as successful and empowering experiences, right? You need to speak honestly and openly about your desires and your boundaries. Don't be afraid to have a frank and honest conversation about what your desires are, what your boundaries are, and get that consent with your partner, right? It's important to know that your partner's unique views on BDSM and their consent philosophy, right? And consent goes both ways. It's important that everyone involved explicitly and honestly states their expectations, their limitations, and their experience, right? And to discuss everything that may happen in a session beforehand is paramount as well. Again, I'm going to stop, see if there are any comments before moving on. Still got 6 babes in the building. All right. We're being very quiet today. I think we're focused on the topic, right? We're listening. Good, good, good. All right. Again, don't think of consent as something to kind of check off the box either, and like something to get out of the way before you play. Really take the time to negotiate the session, understand the partner's desires and expectations. And actually, as you're doing it, that can be almost as exciting as the play itself, right? Having the negotiations, having the kind of scenarios outplay in out loud as you're discussing it can almost be as scintillating as the act itself. All right. All right. So, what does it mean, first of all, to be dominant? So, let's break that down. If you are going to undertake the dominant role, it's extremely important for both of you to exchange and play the role so you can both experience what being in control means and what your shared sexual destiny would be. Quite simply, the dominant role demonstrates the skill and the power and controls the submissive role. Okay. The dominant slash submissive dynamic is also referred to as a top bottom dynamic. In BDSM, the top is a dominant partner who provides the rules and controls the situation. Right? Perhaps, they're doing the spanking or the bonding or giving orders and instructions. Okay. The bottom is the submissive partner who might follow those orders or receive what the dominant partner is dishing out. However, bottoms can also be the more dominant partner by demanding that the dom or the top perform certain acts of their choosing and even insist on switching roles. This is often referred as topping from the bottom. So again, like I said, it can be a switch situation where the submissive decides, yeah, I want to kind of dictate and lead how the session is going. So they are going to take a more dominant role. Even though they are in the act, the submissive one, they can also take that dominant role as well. All right. So ultimately, the submissive person is always in a position of power because it's up to them to decide how far the situation goes and how they would like to be dominated. Right? If you're ever in a situation where you're playing a submissive role and you feel that things aren't going the way that you like, you have the power to stop the scene, to use your safe word, or the traffic light system, which I outlined previously. Some people in the BDSM world refer to themselves as a switch, as I said before, which means they enjoy switching from one dynamic to the other and they derive pleasure from both being a dominant and the submissive, depending on their mood, the partner, and the scene. All right. So now that we've kind of outlined what a dominant is, let's go into the submissive role. The position of submissive is one of trust and learning. It involves giving the reins to your mind and body to your dominant lover and allowing them to fully take them, right? While being a submissive is about relinquishing control, it's keen to point out that you do not cease to have a voice just because you are submissive. I'm going to say that again. You do not cease to have a voice just because you are relinquishing control as a submissive. Stop, Dream. Come here, Dream. Come. Come here. Okay, you gonna lay there? She was biting on my box that she's leaning up against, and I don't want her to chew on it. It's okay. Come here. You wanna come? Hang on a second, everyone. Come here. You wanna come? Wanna come say hi? Hey, Burns, welcome in. All right, let's show Dream for a moment because it is her half year birthday. She's a whole 6 months old today, right? I know, 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 I know. You're so sweet. Give me all the kisses, all the kisses. Say hi to Auntie Burns and everybody. Say hi, everybody. I'm 6 months old. I know, I know, I know. I get all the cuddles from mama. All right. Back to your puppy chewing stick, your teething ring. All right. Let's continue. All right, so we're talking about submissive lovers here. So a submissive lover should always expect a level of balance and to be able to guide the sex within the boundaries of their own desires without pressure to exceed them. Many people with sexually submissive desires have concerns about the effect it may have on their day-to-day living. And you have to again have an open communication. So submitting to your lover in the bedroom does not mean that you submit to him in other ways, right? In fact, incredibly common for confident and socially dominant individuals to act on their sexually submissive fantasies. So kings of industry, powerful men are powerful in the workplace, same as women. But when they get home, maybe they want to be submissive. Same with women. You may dominate in corporate America, but in your private life, in your home, you may want to be submissive, right? You're not giving your lover, though, in a sexually submissive role, you're not giving them carte blanche to use you in any way that they see fit, right? Um, Not everyone who has submissive desires in sex has to follow the relationship structure of I'm dominant 24/7 or I'm submissive 24/7 in the relationship, right? And again, if at any point during this BDSM sex play or role play, if you feel like your partner is taking advantage of your submissiveness, then you must tell them how you're feeling, right? You get to set the sexual boundaries of your play just as much as they do, right? Submissive or not, if you're not happy with any part of the play, you must raise the issue, right? There are kind of guides that can help you as you dive in and learn more and do more research into kind of tangible movement that you can use. You might hear terms like brat or puppy or pleasure top, daddy dom, mistress, but none of these need to apply to you if you don't feel like they resonate to you, right? So it's just a guide and a help to make people feel more comfortable and like they're part of a tangible movement that validates their sexual desires, right? So you don't have to use these terms. These are just terms that you might see as you're doing more research. Again, exploring safely and communicating your needs to your partner and your desires are paramount in order to build trust and enjoy a BDSM relationship. All right. Now, Again, the popularity of this topic and the use of it in a lot of movies and books and things like that, it is gaining popularity in terms of the toys and the things that you use for this. Because it used to be just, the whips, the cat o' nine tails, and the like. But now there are an array of sexual toys and accessories that you can use, from your trusty blindfolds to restraints. And they are all in different shapes and different sizes and different materials. There are soft cuffs now, so that you don't have to use metal cuffs. There are many different whips that you can use that are soft and very pliable, and a lot of other things that you can introduce into the play that would be gratifying to both partners. Now, if you're starting with BDSM and you're kind of just learning what to do, you might want to start with just a basic sensory deprivation. So that involves the use of blindfolds, right? To stop your wearer from seeing what is happening, or handcuffs to prevent them from moving from what is happening, right? So that's kind of the basic sensory deprivation that I'm talking about. They're simple, but yet effective. Sensory deprivation is the course where um, it can be a little unsettling for beginners. So it is good to take things slowly, regularly check in with one another, and after each session, kind of reflect together on how you both felt, right? Not only the dom in this case, but also the submissive, right? Taking things slow and being conscious of everyone's needs as it plays out is a crucial aspect of responsible BDSM, right? Slowly removing power from the submissive and putting it in the hands of the dominant is your basic entry point, and this can be used with a combination of any number of fantasies, verbal cues, conversations, and sexual acts. It's about adding the practice to your existing sexual desires at a pace that really feels right for you. So, for example, if you don't really know this very well, but want to jump into something, you might want to have some kind of clear conversations about what you like, what you want, and what you expect, right? A simple first time bondage kit is kind of a great way to get started with kind of accessories to help you experiment and that are not too intimidating to use, right? There are kits from places like Love Honey, which uses soft materials and has plenty of different things to play with and experiment with. You'll find accessories to use with your bonding kit that really do feel right for you. Sometimes you might want to introduce vibrators or fetish wear. There are all sorts of straps, harnesses, restraints that are used, and there are a lot of crossover and a lot of things that you can use in tangent to make your sexual fantasies come to life. Again, taking your time and moving through the gears not only reassures your partner, but it's also a wonderfully tantalizing way to tease them for even greater excitement. Sensory play can also be very intense for people, and handcuffs sometimes aren't the best route in. You might want to ease into it with experimenting with silky ribbon ties or a soft rope and restraints that are made from gentler materials like velvet and lace, right? BDSM does not have to mean all leather and chains and all of this. You can use feather ticklers and ice cubes as well. That's a great place to start when you're trying to build your sensory deprivation for the first time. And it can also help both you and your partner relax into a sexy night with flirty yet fairly low stakes role play. The important thing here is to have fun and enjoy yourself. Sex is supposed to be pleasurable, and it's not something that you need to endure. It's a game. If you're into, bondage and you're looking to have a little fun, exploring something that you may have never tried before, that is great. But the top priority in all of this is having fun, right? You're having fun, you're experiencing pleasure. It's best if you do this when you're relaxed, and always, always, always be respectful to your partner. Remember, you can stop at any time and at any moment if you're not feeling it. Another thing I want to talk about as we conclude this portion is the aftercare. With any kind of kink in the BDSM community, again, checking in with your partner and looking out for your partner following a session is known as aftercare. It's a practice that ensures that the partner is able to express how they felt about the session, establish boundaries for the next time, physically and mentally decompress. When we're turned on and our hormones are firing and racing, and that spike of dopamine and serotonin is at its all-time high, sometimes things get lost, right? Because you're so excited and you're so into the play. And in an intense situation like that, your emotions can be incredibly heightened, which can result in a much larger drop, especially if there's impact, there's pain, or degradation involved in your session, right? The coming down period is known as the sub drop or the dom drop. And often aftercare provides that opportunity to cuddle, to check in, and to look after each other in those low moments after the highs, right? So aftercare can include getting some oils and rubbing them on your submissive's wrist that you tied up. It could be, taking the blindfold off and just looking into their eyes and caressing their face. Whatever feels right to you and your partner. It's important that domination and that part of it also involves, soft touch and spooning and some quiet time after that play is over. That is part of being a dominant in that as well. All right. Again, if you feel uncomfortable at any point, you communicate this to your partner, as well as, in the aftercare, simply telling them, okay, that was too far, or that didn't feel good, or I don't like that, or please don't do this again. Again, it's important to communicate fully with your partner and to understand that as you guys are engaging in these practices, there is ways that you can talk to them about what it is you like and what it is you don't like. Okay. Your safety is paramount, however you choose to have sex and whatever your fantasies are. Again, this was just for informational purposes only, to kind of tell you what is out there and kind of debunk the myths and the stereotypes that some may have conjured up in their heads about this practice. Let me see who's in here. Hello, Points Blank Travel. Welcome in. Master Ruby, hello, hello. Beauty by Jamie, welcome in. Hi, Art of Andre. Hello, welcome in. Thanks, thanks, thanks. All right. So, any questions, comments about what I said? For those who just came in, welcome in. We have 6 babes in the building. Welcome in. No questions? All right. So now we're going to have a little fun, right? Now that we've set up the stage and we know what dominance and submissions are, we're going to play a little game. All right. And this is totally up to you. You can talk about it in the chat or not. Totally up to you. If you agree or disagree, these are just questions, and feel free to answer if you choose to, if you feel comfortable doing it or not. Again, this is just for educational and entertainment purposes only. All right, don't forget to thumbs up, and if you care, please share it out to your social networks. Being a little naughty after dark. There you go. All right. Welcome, welcome. I see those hands. Thank you so much for coming in. Okay. So, question number one: I tolerate bullying, abuse, or harassment from those close to me that others probably would not tolerate. Again, this is just for, us to think about. Don't have to answer in the chat if you don't want to. Um, just saying what it is. Question number two: I feel undeserving when positive things happen to me. I frighten others to get what I want. I'm one of those people who are destined to have a worse life than most. I often need reassurance from others. I'm very competitive as a person. Mm. Sometimes it makes me feel safe when those close to me are a little critical of me. Mm. Or I often get anxious when I am complimented or praised. I get incredibly annoyed when something blocks my plans. And finally, people sometimes bother me just by being around me. If you agreed to any of those questions that I just posed, you might be in a dominant situation. You might want to be a dominant. If you disagree, I'm sorry, if you disagreed, you might want to be a dominant. If you agreed with most of those, then you are most likely to be in a submissive relationship or a submissive in the relationship. So that is just, one litmus test to kind of say, whether or not this is something that you think you might enjoy and might want to pursue with your partner or not. All right. So that is just a little litmus test to kind of get us in the right frame of mind, submissive or dominant. Now, we're going to have even more fun with this next round. Hi to the 8 babes in the building. All right. So this is just, it's and giggles. You know what that means. For it's and giggles, we're going to do this. We're going to play a game. Are you dumb or are you submissive? Here's the setup. My partner and I are having sex, and I want to be on top. But my partner is on top of me. Do I, one, let him be on top or her on top, or do I switch the roles and command the situation? So put a 1 in the chat if you will take control. Put a 2 in the chat if you let your partner continue on with the sex act and being on top. So 1, you're going to take control. 2, you're going to switch it up. Let's see what you got. Remember, put a 1 in the chat or a 2 in the chat. Here, actually, I'm going to do a poll. Hang on a second. Hold, please. We're going to switch it up. We're going to do a poll. Okay. So the question is, I let my partner take control in the bedroom. Yes or no? This way y'all can stay anonymous. All right. The poll question is out. What say you? Time for those bush babies to come on out and take part in the poll. Don't worry, I can't see who's answering, so you can answer. Yes, they are very quiet tonight. I think they're intently listening. But I can't see who's answering what, so you can answer. Do you let them take control? Yes or no? Okay, all right, I think we got an answer. Let's see. Okay. So we have yes. Okay. Perfect. All right, next question. All right, next question. I like to experiment with my partner often. Okay, again, yes or no. I like to experiment with my partner often. All right, babes, yes or no? All right. I'll leave it up for a little bit and see who else answers. Hey, Life with V, welcome in. Thanks for coming. All right. Let's see. Okay. So a lot of you said yes, you like to experiment with your partner often. Good, good, good. That's always good for a healthy sex life. All right. And then the final question is this. All right. So the final one, when it comes to introducing new things into the bedroom, who is the initiator? Is it yourself or is it your partner? All right. So there we go. That is the last question. Hi, Sylvia on the go. Welcome in. Welcome in. Adult conversation. Yes. Listen, that's what I do here on Thursdays. We definitely, flip the table on grown folk conversation. Hey, Sylvia on the go. Welcome in. Yes, hello, everyone. All right. Both of us. And see, that's good. That's good because no one ever wants to be the dominant one in any situation, right? The one that's always, initiating sex, or the one that's always dominating the sex play. You like a fair exchange between your partner and yourself. And I think that makes for a very healthy, very interesting dynamic because you never know who's going to be the initiator, right? One moment it could be you, the next moment it could be your partner. So that's always a good sign that you have a healthy relationship, right? Because again, as I said throughout this discussion, open, honest communication, talking about what it is you like, what it is you don't like, what it is you may want to do, and things you may not want to do, right? This is not for everybody, but there are certain situations, even in life, in marital life, or in a life with your partner for any length of the time, where one is actually going to be the more dominant one in the relationship and the other one is going to be a more submissive one in the relationship, whether sex is involved or not. So that is really what I'm talking about. Yes, we coached it in the BDSM lifestyle, but this is for anybody in any relationship, right? There's always going to be one person who may be a little bit more forceful or a little bit more dominant, a little bit more leading in the relationship than the other, right? Um, and that's okay. And that's okay. Maybe you're a boss in your business life and you're, a mover and shaker and you do a lot in your office life, right? In the public facing life. And then at home, you just want to relax and let somebody else do it. I always say, when I come home from work, I love to just relax and be, right? When I'm in my relationships with my friends, even when we're like planning girl vacations and things like that, I'm always the one that says, listen, I'll give you my credit card. Just tell me where to go, where to swipe. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to. I plan a lot in my business life, in my personal life. I don't want to plan anything like you guys plan. Like I plan everything in my business life. I don't want to plan things in my personal life. Hey, Dawn people, welcome in. Welcome in. If you're like that, let me know. But I feel like when you're that driven person who's always like doing stuff day in, day out, sometimes it's nice to have a partner who can take over the reins and allow you to just relax, as my friends say, kind of relax in your soft life and your femininity and let your partner kind of take control and take over that portion of your life. It's always nice to be able to have that. But again, if you desire that or if you want that, it's important to one, let your partner know this is what I'm doing. I'm being hands off in this situation. I'm going to let you take control and decide, like you decide where we go for vacation or you decide where we're going out to dinner. But again, If you don't want that, it's important to say that too, right? Because I don't want to push something on you and then you can't fulfill that portion, right? If I say, okay, you take over dinner plans and you're just as confused as I am, what you want to eat for dinner, then right, it's up to me to now take control and take the reins of that. So again, open communication about what it is you want and what it is you don't want is paramount in any relationship, but certainly as you're talking about the relationship with you and your partner, one person has to kind of lead the situation, and one person kind of has to, be the backbone of the situation. You're in the ads? Okay. You got to tell me what ads you saw. This beta testing for Google is really wild. It's so bizarre. Oh, by the way, I'm actually drinking water today. No, wine or liquor if it's quicker for me today. Strictly water. All right. Oh, I forgot to see how the last question did. So let me go look at that. Okay. So it's an 80-20 split between you or your partner. So 67% of the people said me, and 33% of the people said my partner. Okay. Cool. Cool. All right. Power advertising? Power is in the stars power? That'd be fantastic. All right. So let's move away from this for a second because I do want to talk about power. So apparently there's been buzz that Ghost from Power may come back to the series. Is he really dead? Some people are saying he's not dead and that he might be back on Power. Hmm. Listen, that would add an interesting dynamic to not only Tariq, but also the other players in Power Book 2. Because I can see Ghost and Monet kind of going toe to toe because they're both the alpha person. So, again, in this power dynamic, who's going to be the one to dominate and who's going to be the one to submit? Because they're both very powerful, dynamic people. Ooh, that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be interesting. Um, Also, I thought I was gonna cough and I ended up yawning. Forgive me. Oh, it's the book power. Nope, book power on cable. Book power on cable. I don't know what that is. Yes, Power Book 2. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. They're saying that Ghost may come back. So I'm like, if Ghost comes back to Power Book 2, it comes back in Power Book 2, the dynamic between Monet and Tariq will definitely change. And the introduction of ghosts in that dynamic will be very interesting because, again, Monet and Ghost are very powerful people. They're very powerful, dynamic, charismatic people. Monet likes to get what she wants through power and intimidation. Ghost likes to play, a little bit of mind games there. So it's going to be interesting if he does, in fact, come back, what that might look like and what that might do for the characters that are already there. Then I've been hearing, and this is all if you watch Power, these are no spoiler alerts because it's out there. And these have not happened, so they're not spoilers in that way as well. There's been talk about the Nona character who has come in to, she's a big time drug dealer and she's, getting Tariq and his crew to move her product for her. And, trying to find out like her backstory and what she's all about. So it's going to be interesting because they're saying stuff, and I'm hearing grumblings about having a child, having a daughter, and perhaps the daughter is already on the show. Perhaps it's one of the female characters on the show, and if so, who could that possibly be? That's going to be interesting too. I like where they're going with this. I like where they're going. I like how this is playing out. I didn't even want to search for any of the spoilers or the leak episodes or anything like that because I want it to unfold naturally so I can watch it. But I'm gonna be checking it out. I think it comes back on because they had a break last week. I think it comes back on tomorrow. So, we'll find out some things tomorrow. So if you watch it, let me know. I do want to do a power book wrap up because there were lots of things in these episodes that I do want to dissect, but I want to make sure that people who are still watching it have a chance to watch it all the way out and that there are no spoilers. And when I do that, which will probably be on a after dark, we're gonna break it all down, but I am gonna put like spoiler alerts so that people, if you're still watching, you can, exit stage left. I'm not gonna feel any kind of way because I know how I would feel if I were in a live stream and people are jumping out with spoilers and things like that, and I haven't finished it yet. So I will be respectful of that and cognizant of that as I dissect this power. But this season, major stuff, major stuff were dropped. And a lot of Easter eggs too, that if you're not paying attention, you probably would have missed. And some things that happened, like there was a character change that I want to dive into and find out a little bit more about. We're going to talk about that in the wrap session too. Um, and we're going to get into it all things power coming up soon. The other thing that I want to talk about before I leave, because I'm going to keep this at an hour and a half this time. Last week, we ran the rails and we were in here for a long time. So I'm keeping it to an hour and a half tonight. The other thing I want to talk about is Run the World. Okay. Secret confession, I really think that I should have been on this show. This show has me to a T. The fashions, the beauty, the hairstyles, everything about this show, which is also, I believe, on Stars, had me at hello. Had me at hello. Breakout star for me is Brisha Webb. Her character on this show is my spirit animal. She is so on it. So on it. If you haven't watched the show, it starts back up for season 2 next week. So now is the chance. Binge watch it. It's 8 episodes. I guarantee you will love it. Great show. For my sisters in the building, like I said, great fashion, great hairstyles, great beauty, makeup. Everyone is flawless in this show. The acting is superb. And like I said, Brisha Webb's character just nails it for me. Love her. What else? What else do I have on my list? Bridgerton fans, Did we not love Queen Charlotte? I really feel like they owe us another session, because I felt like it was too short. It's too short. But I don't know what else they can do, because they kind of gave us the full, kind of gave us the full story, but not quite. I would love to see, like, her interaction with her children. They had 15 kids, but as it turns out, only 13 really lived to adulthood. So I would love to know about the other two. Like, there are other things that we can explore in that beginning relationship with the king that I felt we were missing, because they gave us 8 episodes, but I was like this, clamoring for more. So would love to see that. I would also love to see Lady Danbury's backstory. Wow, I did not know that she had to endure all that she had to be who she is today. Yeah, you need to watch it. It's really, really good. I don't know if you would like it though, because it's kind of girly, quote unquote, but I think men would enjoy it too. It's a really smart written series by Shonda Rhimes from Grey's Anatomy fame. How to Get Away with Murder, Scandal. She wrote Scandal. She brought us all the wonderful shows from ABC. And now that she's left ABC and went over to Netflix, this Bridgerton series, mwah, chef's kiss. It's really, really good. Smartly written, smartly acted. She's got, really great actors in here that we haven't seen before. So they're all fresh and new to us. And they just put on a superb acting job. And I love that, although it is set in the 1800s in England, there's still integration within that. So there are Black characters, Black actors, and they also interweave um, today's kind of music into the storyline. So when they're having like their balls and their galas, it's really interesting because the music that they play for those galas are music that is from this time and this era. But so that's kind of, tongue in cheek, a little cheeky nod and wink to us who are from this time period, to kind of marry the old and the new together. Love that. Love that. What else did I love? Accused, going to regular TV, Fox, Accused. This series was so good. This is the first season of this. I hope they're bringing it back. I think they are, because they had stellar acting. I just watched the season finale earlier today before I came onto the live, and another banger, another tearjerker banger that had me like riveted. If you don't know, Accused is a analog of different uh, uh, slices of life from different people who were accused of a crime. And so it starts off usually with the person either in jail or in the courtroom, and you kind of hear their story unfold, why they were accused, while they're on trial, what happens in their case. And they've had top stars like Malcolm Jamal Warner was in here in one episode. Um, Whitney Cummings, who is a comedian, but wow, she played such a powerful role. Granted, she played kind of herself because she played the part of a comedian who struggles with alcohol, and what happens to her in that case unfolded, and it was just amazing. So that is another one that I invite you to binge watch if you can. Oh, my Titi, keep dozing off. Don't fight it, Titi. I'm going to be off in about 15 minutes. So you can always catch the replay. It will be up. And this and my other Brown Girl Bella After Dark series is available on my podcast. You can find my podcast on my channel. Just go to Brown Girl Bella, and at the very top where it says, my videos and all my community tab and all the other tabs, there's now a tab there that says podcast. You can click on that, and then you can have Brown Girl Bella on the go. You can listen to it while you're driving. Well, I don't suggest for certain episodes you do it while you're driving because you know, you know. But you can certainly listen to it on your leisure time, and just have me on the go at a touch of a button. Isn't that wonderful to have me on the go? Let's see what else I really enjoyed. Will Trent. Will Trent was a good show. That was another new show. I think that was on, it's not on Fox. I think it was on NBC, maybe. Go look for it. Will Trent, Trent. It is about this man who suffers from dyslexia, but he is in the police department in Atlanta, and he investigates brutal crimes and murders and the like, and how his story unfolds. And the character who plays him, he's also the executive producer of the show. And again, smartly written, smartly acted. I love Sonia John in this. She is from The Wire fame, for those who watch The Wire. She was in that, and she's in this show. Fantastic, fantastic. What else did I really enjoy? And I don't usually watch a whole lot of television, but some of these new shows really captivated me this year. So those are the ones that stick out the most in my head. Again, I am anxious to get back onto Power and see, how the rest of the story plays out. Because, man, I actually did need a break from that last episode because that was a lot. That last episode really choked me up. So I'm kind of glad that they took a break to kind of give me a chance to recharge and take a breath, frankly, because that was a lot. That last episode was a whole lot. What else? What else? What else? I think that's it for TV shows. I think that's it. Um, for the channel, let's see. So, uh, finally put in the can May favorites. So that's coming up because it'll be the end of the month soon. So I finally filmed that. I'm going to edit that and put that in. And then I am dusting off and bringing back what's new, what's now, what's next. I am filming the first of that series starting tomorrow. So I'm hoping to get that up over the weekend because there are some in there that are a little time sensitive. For those who don't know, I did a one-off, maybe a two-off of what's new, what's now, what's next last year, where I talk about new products that are hitting, what's kind of now and popular, and then what's on the horizon. So that's what's new, what's now, what's next. And there are a number of things that I wanted to talk about within that series that doesn't lend itself to a regular sit down video or even a vlog. So I thought I would dust that off and see if that is something that you're all going to be interested in. I will be doing another trend to try on Sunday, and I'm going to be doing I think 2 more of those trends to try. And then what I would like to do is turn those trends to try into actual videos. So either sit down videos or vlogs talking about the trends to try. So that is something that I'm kind of toying with, and I am trying to see, if that is going to take flight or fail. That's what I was about to say. When you have time to watch all of this, you're always busy. So that's the power of having portable things that you can watch on the go. So if I am riding in the car or I am, doing something else, I'll have it and I watch it. But power is something that I sit down to watch. I actually sit down and map out my time, even if it's after the episode has aired, to sit down and watch it because I like that show. So mostly on the weekends, I will power through it. A lot of these shows that I'm mentioning, I watch it after they've already aired. So I'm able to watch it back to back to back. So that's what I do. Another advertisement, number 3, about blood pressure and berries. Now that's interesting. Blood pressure and berries. I don't know how that aligns together, but go figure. Hey, Stone Cold, another one of my new babes just came into the building. Welcome in. Nice to see you. All right. One other thing, or maybe 2 other things before I jump off. I have been back on a workout kick. So I've been, doing my Peloton, doing my walking, doing my running on the Peloton, and then I have started a couple of boot camps on my Peloton as well. I will tell you, the other day, yesterday, I did a workout boot camp. I might have overdone it. This arm, which is now my main point of contention, and that's the one that really the nerve in this side of my arm is really, really bothering me. As a matter of fact, it's on flames right now, which is another reason why I wanted to keep this to an hour and a half. So right now, the pain is shooting through my arm, and these 3 fingers right here are the ones that are affected. But mostly this finger right here and this one right here. But this one has the sharpest pain. And it's like, if anyone's ever experienced nerve pain, it's like a pain unlike any other I've ever experienced, because you can't like rub it and it goes away, and you can't really massage it away either. Like you can move kind of like where the triggers are and maybe soothe that, but there's really no way to satisfy the pain because it just moves. Yeah, it is kind of like a pinched nerve, but it's a pinched nerve, but it's more than a pinched nerve, because the nerve is, it's like it's vibrating. It has like a movement and a rhythm, and it's all consuming, right? And I spoke to my doctor about this when we had a meeting last week. I went in for a checkup, and I was telling her about it. She was like, "Well, do you want something for the pain?" And I was like, "Well, right now, I'm trying to like really manage it with the muscle relaxers and things like that. I really don't want to go into like pain medication." And then she got some of my lab results. I actually have to go back tomorrow for more lab results. That's why I'm drinking water, because I'm like, need to hydrate myself, because they were not able to get any blood from me last week because my veins are really, really small. All that to say, my blood said no, they wanted to stay into my body. They did not want me to give out any blood last week. So I'm going to try it again this tomorrow and see. Hopefully it works. But so I might have to, well, I'm definitely going to have to be on a medication, which I did not want to do. And try to figure out what else I can do so that I'm not on it for a long period of time. Because for me, I don't like to be not in control, not able, to be fully alert and aware. It's one thing to, be a little tipsy with wine or even, a glass of spirits or what have you, but it's a total other thing to be on something that is more uh, potent and is more long lasting. Yeah, it is very painful. It's very painful, and it starts from my neck as well, and it goes all the way down my arm and into my fingers. And so you see me like doing this a lot. I feel like the finger feel cold. They're not actually cold, but they feel cold. In some cases, my index finger will turn blue. And that, is all very frightening. It's very scary. But I think tomorrow I may have to finally bite the bullet and get something just a little stronger so that when these moments come on, I can get some rest without feeling like um, I'm in pain all night. The other thing related back to me working out is as I'm doing like these workouts, and yesterday, like I said, I did this boot camp, which I really loved. But afterwards, my body was tingling and on fire, like every part from my head, from my neck, all the way down. And even in places that never hurt before was hurting and sore. So I got a good workout. But the after effects of that workout were killer. Were killer. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow as well. And when I spoke to her last week, I, mentioned again that I wanted her on my Brown Girl Bella Boss Babe series to talk about, what it's like being a physician and a physician of color, because she's an African American woman, and what that looks and feels like now. And so she agreed to be on the show. And what I really want to do is bring out a lot of other doctors that I know who are female and African American and put them on a panel. So we're in the process of putting that together now so that we can bring that to you as a Boss Babe segment. That probably, if I can get it done before like summer really rolls out, that will probably be the season finale for season 2. I do have one or two others that I am planning for season 2 before that. So look for those. If you didn't see the last one that I did with one of my sorority sisters and good friends, please check that out. It is in my Boss Babes playlist. It is season 2, episode number 4. And I invite you all to take a look at that, watch it. It's really, really good. I am now trying hemp Vana pain relief cream. Oh, okay. How's that working for you? I tried this cream and it worked pretty well for me. So I really need to look at it again. But I had tried a cream that was really good for like joint pain. Like I rubbed it on my knee, it worked really well. On my shoulder or on my neck when I, really feel like, there's pain there, it really worked. But for the nerve pain, it of course didn't do anything. But all right, so we are at time. It is now 1 hour and a half plus a few seconds. Thank you all. There's 3 more babes still in the building. Thank you all for watching. Please, if you're coming in and catching the replay, roll it back, watch it. Some really interesting points that I made about BDSM as a practice 101. If people are interested in doing it, how best to do it. And as always, you have been Bellified. Take care, and I will see you back here soon.